We're going to start off with Chris Marlowe.
Hey, Coach. Hate to hit you with an MPJ question, but right off the bat, I'm just wondering, it seems to me like the Lakers are going to be in your way for the foreseeable future. And it seems like Anthony Davis is going to be there for the foreseeable future. Does Michael Porter Jr. have the skills? Can he be coached up to guard Anthony Davis starting maybe tomorrow night into the future?
I don't think anybody can guard Anthony Davis one-on-one. He's a great player. That's why it's called team defense. I don't think Paul Millsap, Nikola, JaMychal can guard Anthony Davis one-on-one right now. I thought Paul did a really good job on him in the playoffs. But for us, we've been a much improved defensive team, and it's 5 guys working as one. Can Michael improve on that end? Can he get to a point where he can use his length and size and wingspan to make things difficult? Without a doubt. I've seen tremendous improvement in Michael's defense from day one all the way through today. But I think it'd be unfair to ask Michael Porter tomorrow night, hey, you got Anthony Davis by yourself. I think it'll be unfair to ask anybody guys to guard LeBron James by themselves. Those are 2 of the top 5 players in the world, arguably. So I think that'd be a tall order for anybody, guys, not just Michael.
Go to Mike Singer.
Hey, Michael, good to see you. With what happened Monday night and the fact that it ultimately ended up being a false positive, obviously the Pistons went on to play yesterday. Could that be viewed as a blessing in disguise for you guys with the rest and the schedule and the time off to recuperate?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I thought it was the right decision at that time with the evidence we had in front of us to not risk further spread. And then it turns out to be a false positive. So on one hand, you're saying, even though it was our 7th game in 11 days, it would have been nice to get that home game in, because now you're going to have to make that up at some point in the future. But I also agree with your sentiment, Mike, that because it was 7 games in 11 days and we were fatigued both mentally and physically, it allowed us to not expend a lot of energy on Monday night, have an off day yesterday, and we had a great practice today. I love the energy that was in the gym from beginning to end. And it's hard to get rest. I mean, and we don't have many practice days left. That's why it was great to come in and practice before we fly. But I would agree. I think using the approach to get some more rest can only help us, especially our key guys that are, obviously playing at a high level, but also playing a lot of minutes.
Christopher Dempsey.
Christopher.
That's right, Christopher. Coach,
give me your government name,
man. No doubt. The Lakers obviously have turned over a few players from last season's team, and I'm wondering, do they look different to you at all, or is this pretty much the same team with just maybe different pieces going forward there?
Yeah, I think it's basically the same team. To your point, when you bring back LeBron and AD, I mean, that's a great building, a duo. And then obviously you go out and you get the reigning 6th man of the year. You get the backup, the runner-up to the 6th man of the year, and you get a center, Marc Gasol, who has won world championship and an NBA championship. But you still have Kuzma, Caruso, Caldwell Pope. So they're a good team, obviously, and we know it's going to be a hell of a challenge tomorrow night. But we lost 4-1 in the Western Conference Finals. I felt a couple of breaks here and there that series could easily have gone to 6-7 games, but they went on to win it. And with LeBron and AD kind of shouldering the heavy load of that team. So I look at it as pretty much the same group. And then they went out and added with, obviously Montrez, Dennis Schroeder, and Marc Gasol, 3 terrific players that I think even make them more dangerous this season than they were last.
Go to Adam Mares.
Hey, Coach. Back in the Phoenix game, you issued a coach's challenge. I think Jalen Smith put his arm around Jokic. Jokic kind of put his hands underneath and grabbed him. That play, that interaction kind of, I think, set center stage in the Lakers series last year, there were a lot of calls. Some went in Nikola's favor, some went against him, where he would, maybe try to highlight a player grabbing him. Have the referees issued some clarity about what they're looking for in those types of interactions, or what do you see in those, and how can it not be a foul on Nikola, or what does he need to do?
Yeah, sometimes it's tough, to figure out, what the rule is. And sometimes it seems like it changes from game to game. And if I remember correctly, Adam, the play you're referencing, you're not allowed to, there's freedom of movement, right? And the offensive player is allowed freedom of movement, as is a defensive player. And in that situation, the defensive player who was guarding Nikola at the time, in my opinion, had his arm straight out to the side, which is hard to get open when a guy is playing you like that, and that's illegal. And that's why I challenged the call. And the challenge was unsuccessful, and I still don't know why. But later on in that same game, we got the call, and Scott Foster, who was the crew chief that night, came over and said, that's the difference. That he was guarding him the same way, but Nikola didn't use his arm to grab and to wrench and to move him out. So freedom of movement's been a point of emphasis the last few years. Very hard game to officiate, and with different referees every night, some guys interpret the rules or call the rules probably a little bit differently. But obviously Nikola, coming off Western Conference Player of the Month, great player, MVP candidate. We have to make sure that he's being allowed to play his game out there. And that's where the communication comes between myself and the officials any given night.
Go to Jacob Toby.
Coach, this question really doesn't have to do anything with the team this year, but I'm curious in your answer. Isaiah Thomas, I know he didn't play a ton for you, but he rehabbed here, and he was named to the FIBA team for Team USA for a qualifying couple games. What do you think that means to just see him playing again, and for guys like Joe Johnson and some of that, some of those guys? Like, what do you think it means for them to try and get back in the league? And do you have scouts and people watching these games and seeing other talent? I know you guys have guards, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, as far as the scouts, that's a question for Tim Connolly. He's in charge of the front office side of things and the scouting, whether it's college, NBA, Europe, or any FIBA events that are coming up. So I'm sure we'll have somebody watching those games, I don't know, in person or virtually. Regarding Isaiah, yeah, I was excited for him. He's been trying to get back in the league. From everything I've heard and read, it seems like he's in great shape. Sounds like that hip is kind of healed, and he's out there moving a lot better. And so for him to go down there and play for head coach Joe Prunty, represent the USA along with Joe Johnson and a bunch of other players that have been in and out of the NBA, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for Isaiah. I coached him in Sacramento, coached him here. Obviously, when we signed him here, no one anticipated that he wouldn't be available until February. We thought it was going to be November or much earlier, and it didn't happen that way. And those are things that you can't control. Even though he didn't play a lot for us, he was instrumental. And I've said this time and time again. His leadership, his voice, his ability to help all of our young players, guys like Monte and Jamal, was, I think, really important for our team that season. Throughout the playoffs, when we lost to Portland in Game 7 in the second round. So anytime Isaiah can get a chance to play, represent his country, and show that he's healthy, I'm happy for him, and I wish him nothing but the best.
All right, that'll do it.
Appreciate it. Yep.